I'm using the computer audio. I get that good. Manage participants. I'm going to let it go. Hey, there you are. Hey, Rosa. How you doing? I'm going to unmute everybody. You can hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
I can hear you. Good to see you. We have 3 on the call. There's 10 registered.
Hi, Main Street.
There are 10 registered.
That's not bad.
Yeah, there's 10 registered, but I already know one of them's in Mexico, one's busy, one's somewhere else, and that's all good. If you if you use sales statistics, which you probably guys know this, if you take 20% of all the people that intended to be here, 20% weren't going to make it from the start. The other 20%, something came up. So that usually means 50% show up, right?
50% higher than I thought.
50% is higher? Really?
Yeah, higher than I thought. Yeah.
Well, I've always in sales, I've always done this here. I've said, okay, if I'm going to have 50 people coming to a group presentation or something I'm speaking at, I cut it in half. And then I take 20% off that.
Right.
You know, because life gets in the way, right? And but anyways, we'll have fun. Like I said to you, Rosa, if there was only you showing up, that would be great. Because by the time you're done this here, we're going to have more customers for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And you too.
Both of us.
I forgot how this works. The person who speaks the loudest pops up. Right?
It's the camera, yeah.
Have you done one of these, Rosa? A Zoom call?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I use it for my business.
Well, you don't know I'm watching, but I sneak in on all your stuff now because I'm saying, okay, how does she get so relaxed? Not that I'm nervous. I'm not nervous at all, but I'm just saying you look like number one, you're having fun right off the bat, right? Yeah. So it's welcoming, it's opening, but you know, I don't want to spend the whole 20, 30 minutes.
It's been years of it. It wasn't like that at the beginning.
Yeah, well, everybody says that, right? Yeah, when I started, I walked up the hill that way, I walked up the hill that way.
I remember doing a public speaking course in college, and my professor goes, this can't ever happen again. Like, I was a disaster. Like, I couldn't talk. I was reading off cue cards. Like, I was really shy. So it was horrific. And I was like, and he said to me, you better sort this out.
That was his encouragement?
Yeah, he was great. I needed someone just to say it, you know, because they're always people are too nice sometimes. And then I did like a public speaking course at university, and I was like, and then I got an A+ in that because I was like, I'm going to make this work.
Wow. Good.
It was painful. Painful process.
What time we got? We got 8:03. We'll give them till 8:05, and then we'll get started because
I almost missed this because I was sitting here all relaxed going, oh, I have like another hour. And I was like, wait a minute, Jack's not in BC. And then I was like, let me check this time.
Well, I had a couple already say to me, I thought it was an hour ago or an hour before from Regina. I got to tell you my public speaking thing, Rosa, now that you told me yours. I'm going to this wedding. Yeah. One of my good friends, and I'm a groomsman. There's 7 of us. And right at the last, there's 400 people at this wedding, and right at the last, the groom turns to me and says, my best man jammed out. Do you mind filling in? And I said, sure. I didn't have a word written. I didn't have anything. I just knew the guy. We played poker every Friday night. God. Everything was good. Well, I got up there, and I looked at 400 people, and they all turned into gargoyles in front of me, right? And I went, oh, well, you know, I got through it. I said 20 words and sat down, right?
That's great.
I immediately joined a public speaking course. Immediately.
It's like these life-changing moments. Like, well, maybe not life-changing, but, you know, it's like these moments that we remember that put us onto a different path all of a sudden. Like, they awaken us.
Yeah. Well, it's necessary.
about that is that, like, for one person in the crowd, they're just totally chill because it doesn't matter to them. But like, it's a whole different world for the person standing up there. They're like, the world's ending.
Totally.
But the person next to them can be totally relaxed.
Yeah. Or they're like, I would be just like that. Or they're, or they're going, thank God it's not me up there. Or like,
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with you the format. This is like an introductory call, and kind of how I want this course to go. Now, this isn't going to be a training. These when we come on these, it isn't about me telling you more great things about what I did and what you should do and all that stuff. I'd like you to share a little bit about what you know. So I'm going to give you a heads up, both of you. I'm going to ask you a couple questions and say a few things back to me when I ask them, okay? So I'm going to ask you, we know your name, and I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, and nothing tough. But you guys know each other, right? So
Yeah.
no. What I was going to say.
Person too. We met at a cafe once.
Did you guys?
I was watching this laptop. That was so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Who would have guessed our journey like after that?
Yeah.
So Rosa, just so I get this straight here, if I was to introduce you, like at the next group, when there's 10 people on, which everybody will be on, I'm sure, I would say that you're an educator, right? Because you are, and you're a CEO of RocaFit. Is that an online training business, or is it online and shop too?
It was in person before, but it's all online now. Okay,
and also direct sales company online.
Yeah.
You're Juice Plus, right?
Juice Plus.
Juice Plus. That's been around like 25, 30 years now, right?
Yeah, long. Yeah, close to 30. It was 1993.
Okay. And Kelsey, if I said you were an actor, and creator of mainstream meditation, would that be enough? I know you're much, much more, but that's what's going on right now, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And
not currently acting, but I think I had fun at it, so I'd go back when I'm back in Vancouver.
Well, I'm not currently doing Kung Fu, but I still like to think I'm a Kung Fuer.
Yeah.
You're an actor.
Yeah. So is our identity.
So let's do this here. I wrote a couple notes, and the reason I did this, I wanted to put it in format that you're clear on the course. Now, both of you, I know you have a copy, right? Because I sent you out copies. Yeah. Kelsey, I have yours here. You have yours, Rosa, right?
Yeah.
And you have it in a book form similar to that, right? I sent you the tabs too, right? Okay, or Rosa?
Yeah, I was so impressed.
Okay. Good. All right, you got that all situated then? So
yeah.
the whole idea of this course and when I designed it, I actually designed it in the first 6 months. And maybe Kelsey on your travels, hey there, is that Rod joining? Someone's coming in. I designed it in 6 months, and I'm taking all this stuff that I know about sales and I'm putting it into this. I've got this many books I'm writing. And then the next 6 months, I started taking it all away because I realized that wasn't why I was a good salesperson. That wasn't why I sold more. So I said, what were the main reasons? It wasn't because I was a hard closer, a good closer. It wasn't because I could do all kinds of these lead methods. It was these 6 principles that I put together. So, hey, Rod, are you in?
It's amazing.
Rod. I think that's Rod. I think
you want to try and unmute him?
He's unmuted.
Oh. He might not have logged in with the you know how it asks you to use your microphone from the phone?
Hey, Rod. Okay, well, let's
continue. The chat box.
It's easier. That's why you do the first call.
Can he, did Heidi tell you about mine last night? I did a Zoom call last night, completely black, just talking to somebody, right? She couldn't make it tonight. I did a Zoom call last night. Hey, Rod. Can you hear me?
You know what, Jack? This audio, I have my phone full blast, but I can barely hear a whisper.
Okay.
I have to hold my phone to my ear.
All right. Well, do you want me to mute you, or are you okay?
Well, hi everybody. My name's Raj. I'm from Regina. I'm excited to get part of this.
Hi,
Just
Rod.
can't hear much of what you're saying.
That's okay. Then can you? Then I'll just continue.
Yeah, I'll just keep my ear to the phone and listen.
Fair enough. Okay, so the video slideshow, that's what I wanted you guys to go through, right?
Okay.
Everybody's done that?
Yeah.
Rosa, have you done the video slideshow?
No, it's been insane, but I will tonight.
Okay, good. Well, you don't even have to
I won't
commit,
fall behind.
you don't even commit to that. But I'm saying that the next course is the next module is coming out tomorrow. But
Okay, I'll do it tonight.
they complement each other, and the MP3 and the video slideshow. You should listen to that and watch it, and then go through the course or the workbook, because the workbook is a little overwhelming, I think. What do you think, Kelsey? Did you go through it?
I did go through it like a goody two shoes, and I did end up watching the video twice just so I could kind of go through it, and then I thought it was pretty good because you were able to write down your own answers to a lot of questions, and so I thought, yeah, it was a good amount of listening and then writing and integrating.
Would you say the first time you went through it, you would have got 70% of it?
The video?
The workbook.
If I would have gone through it without watching the video?
Watching the video and then doing the workbook.
Yeah, 70%, sure. Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah,
60 to 70% getting you through that. The next thing is the tools to sell by. You know what they are. Do you know, when I say tools to sell by, Rosa, would you be able to identify what that means? Rosa?
Probably not right now. No.
No? Are you muted?
No, I can hear her.
Okay. Okay. The tools.
I had an hour.
The tools to sell by. Tools to sell by are specific little things. You'll figure that out. The one-on-one.
It's like downloads. So like you'd have your workbook to write in, and then you had the additional downloads. That's what I thought of them as, the tools.
They are. That's what they are, the downloads. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Thank you. I appreciate that. And the one-on-one coaching is whatever you need help with. Like Rose, if you said it's, people say, I want to think about it, I can work with you on that. Or if you wanted lead creation, how do I get more people into a funnel? Or what are the external ways? Whatever it is that you need. It doesn't have to be about the 6 modules. I'll help you with anything in there.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So, but what I'd like you to start off with is number 1. On our next call, we're going to be covering 1 and 2 because they work together. This is kind of like an introductory call. All right. The other thing, if every day in the Facebook insider training, right? I post something every day which complements that week's module. Have you been paying attention to that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
There are 5 little posts, and they're just there. The one that is coming out tonight is saying, okay, summing it up, what did you get from that? All right? Now, I'm going to stop training here in a second. We're going to go in a different way because we have 30 minutes, and I don't want it all about me talking. Has anybody read this book here? How to Win Friends and Influence People? Dale Carnegie?
Parts of it, yeah.
Okay. How about this one here? Influence by Robert Cialdini.
Oh, I've seen that one and I haven't read it.
It's about 30 years old, and it's supposed to be the premier book on getting people to feel guilty so they'll say yes to you. He's a big...
That's one technique.
This one here, Lucas just did a review on recently about the devil with Think and Grow Rich. The guy wrote Napoleon Hill.
I haven't heard of that one.
It came out in 2010, but he wrote it in 1939. All right?
Cool.
I'm showing you this for a reason, though. Bear with me. And this here was the original thing Napoleon wrote before Think and Grow Rich. It was called PMA. He wrote it in 1919 or something like that. Now, the reason I show you these things, I did this course like 30-something years ago, and this whole course, it was a correspondence course. I got one major idea out of it, and the idea was wow, there's lots of ideas, but what can I use and what can I do? What can I get from that? So what I did on each one of these modules is focus to get one main idea. Like in this number one, your number one module, there are 10 ways you can use this profile. I use them all, every one of them. And if you need help with them and trying to discover them, I'll help you with it. But I want you to pick the one that stands out for you. So now I said I'd like you to speak a little bit. Rosie, you said you hadn't really looked at it, so I'm going to pick on Kelsey. Kelsey, can you modulate what you got out of module one so far?
Well, regarding the profile, I got that I have a online course as well on meditation, and have a few people going through it and a few people that said they wanted to. They're kind of in and they're out. They're not really participating. So I made profiles for all the people that are showing up each week and are doing it. And I wanted to ignore the people that weren't doing well. And I wanted to be like, well, just, whatever. But after going through the module and learning about how if you build a profile, even for the people that you don't sell right away or that don't buy or that don't seem like a success, you can learn stuff from them still too. So I made myself make profiles for them and look at maybe how I could help them differently, how I wasn't showing up enough for them or whatever their obstacle was. Mm-hmm. So that was one big thing for me, was not wanting to just ignore things that I didn't do well at, but to learn from them. So if I'm not selling, I'm learning, right?
That's it. That's for sure. Would you say that's a conviction yet? Or is it a belief? Or you're hoping it will work?
All three.
Okay. But on the scale, would you say, hey, I'm going to do the exercise? It sounds like it should work. It's not a belief instilled yet or a conviction?
It's more than I think it should work, because that's where I was before I did it. And then I was like, okay, I got to do this. And so now I'm pretty certain that, even if I'm not doing great, I'll learn something.
Okay. Thank you. I'm coming back to you. Don't go away. Rosa, question for you. Now, you say you haven't gone through the course because you've been insanely busy, right?
Yeah, it's been crazy. But good.
But you're going to, because you did say you would commit 100%. Remember you said that?
I'm in 100%.
Okay. Yes, you did say that, and I count on you for that. So I'm going to ask you this question. You understand the basis of a profile. I didn't invent it. I just used it way better than anybody else did. And I'll give you one stat. From 2000 to 2007, before I got into the travel business, I never advertised one lead method. I never used any advertising to create millions of dollars in sales from my customers. They were all from profiles. Just people who said no, people who said call me later, people call back. So you can challenge me on that and I could show you those stats. So now here's your question. Since you understand what a profile is, if you didn't write up a profile on someone that had said no to you, let's just say, someone that you wrote off in your mind, would you agree with me that you pretty well wrote them off?
Yes.
Okay. And the next question is, I'm not putting you on the spot here, I'm just working with you.
No, I don't mind.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you did write a profile on them, even though you've kind of wrote them off in your mind, they are still a potential customer, possibly. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you look in the post today where I've got 3 piles, did you see that, Kelsey? 3 piles of profiles?
Hot, warm, cold?
Yeah. Did you see that, Rosa?
Mm-hmm.
The 3 piles?
Yeah.
Hot, warm, cold? If you think of profiles like that, you only have 1 right now, Kelsey. Let's say you've got 5 that you filled out. And in 6 months from now, that'll be 50, 500, 200, whatever the case may be. This is what I used to do every month, and this was the fun part for me. I would have a pile of ones that I thought I could call that would be receptive, ones that I didn't really might not want to call, and ones that, hey, I've called these people too many times, right? But I always got sales from every pile. And that is the honest to God's thing that you have to think about with profiles, that you will get sales from every pile, even though you don't believe you will. But if you took that last pile and threw it away, well, you would never get it. Okay? That's what I kind of want you to understand about those profiles, that however you sort it. Any questions on that?
Where do you find the profile?
Okay, let's just say here, I don't know your lead methods. We can have a discussion on that here, but for instance, I was big on trade shows. I would use them every 3 months, every 2 months. And a lot of people would stand in trade show booths and wait for people to come by and pull them in. But I noticed there was a convection current, around the booths, right? The booths they liked, they'd kind of go close to, and the ones they thought were afraid, they'd go away, right? So what I would just say is all I want to do is get the lead, right? Enter to win, and sometimes I put a jar of money there that had $400 in it and rolled up toilet paper in the center so it looked bigger, right? And enter to win whatever. I just wanted the slip. That was the start of my profile. It was just a lead, right? A lead is the start of a profile. Now, when you listen to the module, you're going to see the first thing I started with was this right here. I use these here. Can you see that? It's like a file card, right? And that was the start of my profile many years ago. And whenever I had a lead, any kind of lead, I would just write their name on it. I would write their number, whatever information. I would call them. They'd hang up on me. I'm using the worst example. I would say they hung up on me, right? So now I know they're a hang up, and they would go in the, I don't really want to call it file, right? Then I'd do another call, and these cards became my original profiles. And then what would happen is I had nobody to call. Those days you have nobody to call, Rosa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you going to do? Well, all those ugly ones, I'd say, okay, I'm going to call 10 of them. I'm going to call, which was easier than calling on the phone book because at least they'd hung up on me once, I thought. Now, that may seem tough to you right now, but that's not, you asked me a question where they came from, right?
Yeah.
I kept them all. And what happened is, when you listen to the MP3 and you go through the module, you'll get it. That even the ones that were hanging up on me or just saying no, or no, I don't want to talk to you, got to open up to me after 4 or 5 calls. I'd say, hey, we don't click. Now, I'm giving you really bad examples, right? Not everybody hung up on me. But even those ones I kept. So in answer to you, if you want to know about lead methods, you and I will work on that together. I'll share 5 or 7 or 10 that can help you to create more leads. A lead starts, and then it becomes a profile. Like I didn't just take random names and put them on a profile. What I did was I took it on appointment card, and I would say I'm going to call them. And once I made contact with them, that became the start of my profile. Right. Then I would document whatever information was on it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, this is so exciting because, I mean, you say call,
Pardon me?
I think instantly Facebook Messenger. I'm just finding it really fascinating because you say call and I'll be on Facebook messaging people rather than calling, like using the voice message. It's how I've gotten a lot of all of my sales is on Facebook. I've never gotten on a call. Like I just put a sale through today. But what I'm hearing from you is I don't document anything. Like I just wait until they're ready and they approach me.
Right.
But I haven't treated it like a business in that sense, right? Like I can create these lists because on Facebook you can create lists, and I'm thinking already I'm going to create these 3 lists, like my chicken list, my, the hot list, and then I can move them along this is so cool.
Okay, so picture this here, and Kelsey, did you want to jump back in and say something?
I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll just continue here. Just for we only got 15 more minutes, right? But like I said, I didn't want it to be a training call because that is in your training. If you go in there, Rosa, it's there, right? Yeah. And but what you'll appreciate, if you can think of this right here, if you started a profile today on every person you talk to from here on in and documented what they said to you, every objection that they have, you'll know. Yeah. By the time you're done your second lesson, and when you see how those two connect, Kelsey, have you done your second lesson?
I watched the video. I didn't go through the module yet.
Okay. When you have done 1 and 2, you're going to get it, how this one connects with number 1. And that's why it's important to do number one first. You'll get how number two connects. No, you will. And you're going to go, oh, and I guarantee you by the time you're done that 80 squares, which you really don't know what that means yet, you'll know so much more. You know what it is, Ron. There you are, buddy. You'll know so much more about the objections. You'll know so much more about what to say to the people, all that stuff. Just trust me on that. 1 and 2 are designed to take you places that you're not right now. So you guys both have your books, and Rod, yours is either coming or you're going to get it downloaded, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be here tomorrow. It's supposed to be here today, but I'm assuming tomorrow. It's Canada Post. Okay,
fair enough. And so, okay, any other questions on that? I mean, this here. We can introduce Rod now. I was going to introduce everybody, and we'd say Rosa, who's an educator and an online fitness person herself. Rod is just Rod. Rod has his own proprietary training for athletes. He's got a patented training system in the fitness industry, and he's taken that and turned himself into a gazillionaire in the rental business and housing industry or apartment industry, for what I know. But he's my good friend, and we've worked together. And he's in here also as an advisor, a mentor, and he's taking the course along with us, right?
You betcha.
Okay.
Just got back from 5 weeks in Cabo. I'm easing into it. As soon as the hard copy gets here, I'm in.
Did you notice that post in there where I said, do we get a group discount?
Yeah.
What do you rent your place out for in Cabo, Rod, per week?
The villa is $4,000 a night, and my condo is $550 a night.
$550 a night?
Yeah.
So a deal is $10,000 a week, or no, that would be $6,000 a week.
$3,500, $3,700 US a week.
Rose, have you been to Cabo?
Depends on time of year, like Christmas a little more. Pardon me?
I haven't been to Cabo actually. I've been to the other side.
Kelsey,
you'll like Cabo better. Guaranteed, weather's beautiful.
I have a feeling I'd like your place better.
Well,
March, Jack and I will talk. Maybe we'll do a week there.
You've been to Cabo, Kelsey, right?
Yeah. That was my first trip to Mexico when I was 13.
You know where the downtown little square is, or you know where all the downtown is there?
It's been 15 some plus years.
Were you at the marina ever?
You were a toddler.
We were at I remember the 2 beaches and the big arc.
Okay. When you're at the marina, you look up on the mountain, and there's a big sign called the Pedregal.
Okay.
You see that? It's kind of like a big Hollywood sign.
Oh, yeah? Okay, yeah. Maybe.
Well, go 7 houses to the right. That's where we'll be.
So we have our man now in Cabo, right? And Rod's going to be in the course with us, and great guy. And he also has a lot of experience in the industry that you're in, Rosa. So he'll be contributing there. And that's the other thing about this here. The most I ever learned about sales, and Rod's rode out with me and I rode out with him, is I learned more from watching people, whether they're better than me or worse than me, and I learned when they watched me. So from after this meeting here, we're going to use a lot of the people's strengths that join us. Hopefully Rick will be involved in this here. He's a powerhouse salesperson. Mark Polka, who's in the security industry. There's a number of people that I've invited, 3 of them, Rod, Mark, and Rick, that have tremendous experience in business, creating customers, creating leads, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to use that synergy. That's going to help us a lot. Okay, so I can't stress enough this here. Every one of us is taking courses. The reason I showed you these books here, this book right here, which is the premier book on how to make people feel guilty and buy off you in a nice way. I remember one thing from it. You know what I remember from this book, and I've read it 4 times, is Hare Krishnas handing flowers out in Vancouver Airport. Do you ever see them?
You told me that, yes.
Well, yeah. There used to be years ago these people that hung around an airport. They were called Hare Krishnas, right? They had their shaved heads. You've seen them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a little dot on their forehead, and they'd give you a flower, and if you took it, you were obligated. And
Talk to 'em.
and then they would chase you until you, and then they'd insult you and say, "Well, you took my flower, you owe me, right?" So you would give them money to get rid of them, right? Anyways, that's what he talks about in there. But my point is, you only remember one thing from the book. I remember that from this book. And I remember one thing from this book and one thing from that. But what I did is I started to distill and apply the most important things that created the most amount of sales. Because I wasn't the best salesperson in the world. But I was the best at doing the 6 most important things better than most people. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Each one of these modules is really simple. If you nail it down, your sales will increase right away. I'm not talking about theory down the road in 2 months or 2 years, right away. But you got to do it, right? Okay?
Got it.
Yeah.
So next week, you will both have, all of us will have done 2 modules complete, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm asking you for your own good. If you look at that thing, I'm posting every day just to remind you that's what's in the course, right?
Yeah.
In the insider training. And if you don't know what it means, you're not getting something, right? Because it's all relative to the course, right? The MP3s are me talking to you specifically saying, okay, here's a different way of thinking about it. And the modules are there, right? Enough said on that. Okay. Do you have anything to say, Rosa, that you've learned so far yet, even though you haven't taken the course? You haven't gone through the module. What have you learned so far?
Okay, promise. Never happening again.
That's okay.
Well, you know what I like is just how at the beginning, especially, you talk about the people that would hang up on you. Like, it just makes me realize that is just part of the process. Like, the numbers are the numbers, and whether it's being female or whatever it is, often we get so attached to, or we take personally, or, we overthink it. And so I just like how you're just kind of really matter of fact about it. And I'm just learning from that.
When, after you finish the lesson number 2, you will think differently about what you just said. You're going to go, no kidding. If I could really believe what he's saying there, it's all changed. Really. Remember I said that. Because number 2, the most important lesson I learned was number 2.
Okay.
And I put it in number 2, not number 1, because you need number 1 to really understand number 2. All right?
Cool. Now I'm curious. Okay.
Yeah, the hype is up for number 2.
Right.
Like, what have you learned so far for sure, that you believe you can apply that you didn't know before?
For sure, not to give up on the people who didn't say yes on the first time, and that people will need to be asked more than once. And just because they said no or whatever it was the first time, just not to let it die on that.
Okay.
Now I'm
going to give you one secret closing thing, which I'm going to give at the end of every class. This isn't about closing this course. It's about how to set yourself up to sell more right away. But I'm going to give you one close. When somebody says, I want to think about it, this seems to be a big problem for new salespeople. I want to think about it. First of all, it's not an objection, but this is what I want to ask you. When somebody asks me to buy, to move forward, to do something, to get off my comfort zone, and I say what I want to think about it, what am I saying that for? You understand that? People say, I want to think about it to you. Rosa, you ask them to move ahead and they say, well, I want to think about it, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody gets that. So now I want you to turn that around and ask yourself that question. Why do I say I want to think about it? You can come up with at least 5, right? Money, that's what I normally think. That's how I get rid of them. I just have to say it. I need time, whatever, right? When you can identify why you want to say that, then you'll know why they say it. Right? It's just a little lesson. Think about that. Because if you need closing, I'm going to help you with it. All right. Anybody else want to say anything before we sign on?
Actually, Jack, I went through the first module briefly, and kind of brought up all 6 of the modules because you've spent a lot of time with me, teaching me. And I just want to say it was nice to be back into it because now with our 30 sales staff and our 40 trainers, they're all going to have to do this because it reawoke things in me that I kind of got lazy on in the last few years. So it's good to be back, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You're going to be here for every module, right?
You bet.
You're going to be here every course, right?
You know me and the interweb. If I can make this thing work, I'll be here.
All right, good enough. Okay, guys. Kelsey, anything to say?
I'll host the live cabo, though. I'll host live.
Well, we're counting on that. I mean, we're counting on that. Trust us. We want to be there. Kelsey, we're signing off. Anything you want to say?
I'm excited. I'm grateful for the profile, for all these people that I've just let fall away, and I'm excited to
Okay.
keep going.
Rosa, you want anything to sign off?
Just same thing. Like, I feel really grateful as well to be here and excited.
Awesome.
I love learning. So
All right. Next Wednesday.
I'm learning with action. So
Okay. Next week, I tell you, you're going to be more excited when you put those 2 things together in your mind. You'll get it. And hopefully we're going to have a crew of some really interesting people on next week. All right? Fun people. Okay. I'm going to see you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay.
That's how we
everybody.
sign off. That's how we sign off when we're brand new. Bye now. I don't even know how to sign off.
There you go.
See you guys.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm trying to end.
I turn this thing off.
You got to get this thing off, Rod.
Damn thing. And I can barely
Sign
hear
it
this.
off, too.
You were good last night. I could hear you. Tonight I can't hear anything.
I'm ending meeting.